Right, now this will tell us. And that's pretty conclusive. Still going. Close. I think he got it down.
How strong is he?
Welcome back to the Pick and Go podcast, your one-stop shop for all things rugby union. And no one in studio with me today, unfortunately. Pity, a very, very busy man. And we couldn't even get Surly. He's across in Australia working hard. So, but don't worry, we've got one of the big guns back with us this week. And it is my good friend, Steve Devine. Steve, welcome back in, mate.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Paul. You might want to give your armpits a bit of a sniff there, mate. It seemed to be a bit lonely in the studio.
Yeah, right. It's been the story of my life, to be fair. No friends. I'm fairly used to it. And I guess if we look at the rugby world, if we're looking at a team that may not have too many friends, it's the Welsh. And we'll get to a preview of the All Blacks Welsh test match. But I've just seen the line that the bookies have set, 28.5. That's 28. That's 4 converted tries between the All Blacks and the Welsh, according to the bookies. Your initial thoughts on that, Steve?
Not enough.
Wow.
I would have thought it was probably going to be around 35 points. That's my gut feel.
Whoa. Well, okay. Yeah.
And that's as bad as the All Blacks have been playing as well. I mean, the Welsh have struggled against Japan. So let's be honest, we have never not put 35 points on Japan, at least. So I'm confident with that one.
Okay. Well, we'll have a good look at that game towards the end of the podcast. But right now, we better look back to last week and our betting. And it's not pretty reading, to be fair. I'll start with me. What did I have? I just had the All Blacks at $1.67, the whole 100 on. And, well, that really wasn't a chance once we got to the second half. And the All Blacks drifted from when we recorded last weekend as well. And I think they closed the two teams, England and the All Blacks, closed fairly close together. So not only did I get a bad price, I lost as well. Surly had a couple of bets. He had the ABs to win 1-12 at 350, no good. Then he had ABs 1-12, Australia plus 11.5, and Scotland to win. No good there. So he was down 100 for that week. And Steve, what did you do here? You had Ireland, Australia, either team to win by under 7.5 at $3, no good. Then you had the Wallabies just to win. And then you had England penalty goal to be the first scoring play of that test match. So no good there either. So yeah, we've really got to sort of... We are the Wales of the punting moment, Steve. This is not good reading.
No, it was an average weekend for rugby in New Zealand, full stop. Other than the Wallabies getting a hiding, it was a disastrous weekend.
Well, let's touch on that game between the All Blacks and England. And first of all, why don't we look at a few positives? And I think if we're going to look at positives, we probably have to look at the English team because they played bloody well, Steve.
Yeah, I think this is my gut feel. Listen, I really struggled because we ran around them twice in the first 20 minutes and scored 2 great tries. And then we decided for some reason that we shouldn't do that again for the rest of the game and decided to run into them. And it cost us the game of rugby. We went second half, we went wide once, 2 passes, and we got Will Jordan in some space. He scored untouched, and then we just decided to just go up the middle. I was gobsmacked. I was angry about our choice of options, and I still believe the English probably didn't play that well. It was just that more so that we played so poorly. They built pressure, and please tell me the last time the All Blacks allowed 2 tries from set piece. It was an unbelievably poor performance by the All Blacks.
If we look at those those 2 set-piece tries to England, they came up with a very flat line of attack, and their passing was very, very good, and they found gaps at will almost.
Yeah, they essentially the whole game they played rugby league against us. When they didn't have the ball, they were a rugby league defence, tight, narrow, and just up hard. And then when they had the ball, they didn't do much more. They just took the ball to the line with short offloads pre-contact, short offloads post-contact, and really found us willing at times. Like we were up against it, and some pretty good defence stopped other certain tries, and then. I feel we looked tired. I noticed the players at times with their hands on their legs, really, gasping for breath. So I felt we were flat. We looked tired, and then that 10 minutes after half time, that was crucial. We just they got a roll on, and we never really gave ourselves a chance after that.
If you look at their team, George Ford had a very, very good game at first 5'8". He was behind a pack that was giving him a very nice platform to sort of play off.
Listen, I just think George Ford's probably made a handful of tackles in his life, and for some reason he can go a game of rugby against the All Blacks and not have to be made to make a tackle. I just, my head scratches who was coming up with these tactics. I would make every other tackle on top of George Ford if I was in charge of coming up with a game plan to play the English. And the halfback as well hides out on the wing a lot of the time. Just you got to find them. You got to find where they're at. The weak links in the defence. There's just no point running into their forwards because they're so good at what they do, and that's what they want you to do. So you need to move the ball to find the people that struggle defensively, and we just decided not to do that for pretty much the majority of the game.
If we look at the All Blacks, discipline sort of improved, but once again we saw another yellow card, this time to Cody Taylor. Is it something that obviously an improvement from the last game, but is it an area where the All Blacks really need to focus?
Listen, that was the toughest yellow card I've ever seen. A slight hand in a ruck. That's almost every single ruck you see these days. That was a very, very tough decision, but it happens and you got to get on with it. Then we had 2 opportunities to take penalty kicks, and we decided to play rugby and miss touch for one of them. I think our tactics. I really struggle with the tactical plan to play England. A man in the bin, and you're trying to speed the game up. For me, that just for a hardened team, I just find that was very, very concerning. Just the tactical awareness of the All Blacks during this entire match was not on par, let's say.
Let's look at a position that you are very, very familiar with, and Cam Roigard going off early with an injury. How much of an effect do you think that had on the All Blacks' general play?
Yeah, I think maybe it was the combination of Roigard and Bodie going off. We seemed to just lose direction, focus, probably some leadership. As bad as we were for that second half, we got ourselves back to give ourselves a sniff, and I don't think we've seen the ball again after that. So we, New Zealand rugby is bred on running rugby and getting the ball to space and attacking, and we've just lost our ability to attack. We found space early and then we stopped doing it. Our attacking parallels is missing. They kick to us. If we get some space, we kick it back. At some stage, you have to believe that, you would rather lose a game of rugby going out in the style that you want to play than lose a rugby game of rugby not really achieving anything. So, yeah, a lot of questions for me. I think, England played well, yes, but we allowed them to play very well, and that's without a doubt. I know we lost to Argentina this year, and we got absolutely pumped by the the Springboks in Wellington, for me, that was the worst loss of the year. I felt at times we were just totally inept at trying to score tries, which is a tough thing to say. I haven't seen an All Black performance that poor for a long time.
It's not as if the All Blacks don't have attacking weapons throughout that backline, as you say. The likes of Roygaard, of Bowden Barrett, Whainganuku, Will Jordan at the back, Leroy Carter has joined the frame now. So you mentioned tactics before. Is it a case of looking at the tactics that the All Blacks are using during the game and having the ability to go, well, this isn't working. Well, if you look at the beginning of the game, the tactics were working.
Yeah, and then we stopped.
Right.
I don't get it. They were working. We were 14-0 up, and then we stopped. We didn't go wide again. We literally for the rest of the game we didn't go wide, other than we went 2 passes to a short ball to Will Jordan to score after a heap of pressure when they had a man in the bin. So I don't understand. I don't understand. Our attack was poor. We opened them up twice, didn't go back to it. I really feel our skill level was poor. Our pass was poor. Our kick chase was poor. Our kick receipt was poor. I just, these are things that I expect better of from a big All Black performance. This was dubbed as the biggest game of the tour, and we were found wanting, hugely disappointing. And I feel the players feel that, but yeah, what turns it around? It turns it around is a bit of leadership. We need to look at our skill level. Our skill level is not good enough at the breakdown, catch, pass, kick, the basics of the game, where our skill level is just not good enough right now.
Back to England, and they went with a 6-2 split on the bench, and they've been dubbed the POM squad. Do you think that had an effect later on in the game when they introduced all of their big forwards? Did that sort of, especially if the All Blacks weren't going to be going wide and we're going to try to muscle things up front, do you think that was negated by the fact that the English had the POM squad come on, a fresh set of legs, basically for almost the whole pack?
Yeah, listen, there's only one thing that beats size in rugby, and that's speed. So I was angry, gobsmacked at our width. Our pass from 9 to 10 was just, it was like schoolboy level, if he gets some width on the pass, the English defend so tight that if he gets some width, with one pass you can take 3 or 4 defenders out of play straight away. And these Northern Hemisphere teams, we need to play with width. I remember a game last year we played Ireland at Eden Park in the first test of that game of 3 where they beat us. And was that last year? In the last couple of years, in the first game anyway, we played Ireland at Eden Park, and we just beat them with width, like one good wide pass from 9 to 10, and 3 or 4 of their defenders were out of play because the ball was so wide. And again, the English run on a whole forward pack in the second half, and then we continue to play narrow and run into these big guys, and that's what they want. That's where they want us to be to attack in there, and we failed. We did it early. We went wide early. We got the ball to space with their defense up and in, and we found space and we scored 2 tries. And I'm not sure why we went away from it. You have them on the ropes at 14-0, and then you decide to change your game plan into running into them, which is what they want. So for me, I don't really get it. And absolutely, they ran on a new forward pack. Absolutely, you're going to struggle to get momentum when you're playing them at the game and you're running at them where they want you to run at. So yeah, we were found willing and wanting, and unfortunately, that's why the scoreline was what it was.
Right. It sounds like there are some fairly easy, quick fixes there for the All Blacks, and they showed in that first sort of 15 minutes or so. They do have the players to execute a game plan with a wee bit of width. And when they do that, they can score points. So it'll be very, very interesting to see what happens this coming week against the Welsh. We just touch on a couple of the other games from last weekend. The Welsh only just getting up over the top of Japan. Not the best dress rehearsal for Wales prior
Mate,
to the big game.
did you see the celebrations?
Yeah.
The celebrations post the final whistle for a 1-point win over Japan. Listen, I think we're up against a different level this weekend.
Right, and the Wallabies, boy, oh boy. Ireland just putting them to the sword in the end. They once again, the Wallabies look like a team that just didn't have a whole lot of go forward up the middle, and Ireland exposed that.
Yeah, listen, I really hope the Wallabies would have bounced back last weekend after a poor performance against Italy, and I could see they look tired. It's been a massive campaign for the Wallabies this year with the Lions. They look tired against Italy, and I thought they'd bounce back, and they look probably even more tired against Ireland. So I think the Aussies are maybe got one foot on the beach back in Australia already this year. They've tapped out. They're mentally gone. They've had enough.
And the Fijians putting up a great fight against the French, 34-21.
Yeah, it was pretty tight to the end. Everyone loves the Fijian style of rugby. They're entertainers, and they can hold their heads high. I reckon they played a great game of footy against a very good French team.
Right, let's have a look ahead to this week, and we're just going to focus on one game, the big test match between Wales and the All Blacks. As I said earlier, 28.5-point favourites, the All Blacks, up against the Welsh. The game total is set at 59.5. All Blacks are $1 to win this game. You've already sort of given us an indication of what you think is going to happen, Steve. So you'd be very, very happy to take the minus 28.5 as we speak right now. If you're right, that line will move before we get to kickoff on the weekend.
Yeah, listen, this Welsh team is not a great team. A last minute victory over Japan at home. So, there's not a lot there that makes me think that they're in good form. I just think we're going to be able to bully them across the field, across the park. I just hope the All Blacks turn up wanting to play with a bit of width. They're our strengths. That's where every team in New Zealand goes to when we decide to play rugby. And yes, it starts up front. We need a bit of momentum up front, and we just need to play with a bit of width because this Welsh team will defend exactly the same as the English will, and we can beat them with width. One good pass, we're on the outside every single time.
I don't know if we have to say too much more in regards to that Welsh test match. Why don't we get to some betting right now? Let's wrap this thing up. It's a nice, quick, express episode this week. So where are you going to put your $100 this week, Steve?
I'm going with a multi. I'm going to go the All Blacks to win. I'm going to go the African. Sorry, I wrote it down. I'm going to go All Blacks to win, South Africa to win.
Yep.
Over Ireland. I'm going to go France to win over Australia, and I'm actually going to go Argentina to win over England. I just think the RG. I like the RGs, and they won't be allowed. The English won't be allowed to do what they did last weekend, and I think they might have probably celebrated a bit too well. So I just think that might be the upset of the weekend, and that's paying $6.31. So I'll take all hundies straight on that, please.
Wow, this could be a very strong finish to the season for you, Steve. I certainly hope it is. I was going to have one bet, but I'm going to split it now. I'm going to have a double. I'm going to take the All Blacks minus 28.5 into South Africa to beat Ireland. That comes out at $2.69. I'm going to have $60 on that. And then I'm going to take an alternate line in the Wales All Blacks game. And I'm going to take the All Blacks minus 39.5. That comes out at $3.20. And I'm going to put the other $40 on that. So $40 on All Blacks minus 39.5 and $60 on a double. South Africa to win and the All Blacks minus 28.5, which comes out at $2.69. Right, Steve?
Meow.
You've got to rush away because you've got something happening.
Yeah, there's a little golf day happening today. Not that I play a lot of golf, but it's an Auckland cricket versus Auckland rugby down the road. So yeah, looking forward to getting on the course and hitting some out of bounds and hitting a few in the water like I normally do. So it should be a great day.
So what course are you playing at?
Akarana.
Akarana, nice. And is that your home course? Do you have a home course?
Mate, I don't have a home course. I'm a hacker from way back, so I will I'll have a few beers with a couple of my old mates and we'll see what happens.
So who are some of the players on Team Rugby?
I think in my group I've got my old mate Brett Ward,
Yes.
who has wrote me in. So we'll probably generally start pretty poorly with Wardy and then get drunk through the middle and play pretty good golf and then get too drunk towards the end and play terrible golf. And they've for some reason, they've put a couple of young fellas under our wing for guidance. Peyton
nice.
Spencer and Rico Simpson. So let's see who we can corrupt today, boy.
Fair thinkum. Do you know any of the team cricket?
No, I've been a bit hectic this week, but
Right.
hopefully it's full contact and we should come up with a win.
Well, fantastic. All the best. I hope you play as well as the All Blacks are expected to play against the Welsh this weekend. And I look forward to getting an update from you next week, just how the golf actually did go and whether your team, Team Auckland Rugby, got over the top of Team Auckland Cricket.
Yeah, mate, I've got to go and quickly find my golf clubs. They're here somewhere.
Yeah, they come in handy when you go to a golf day.
Yeah.
All righty. Thanks to Steve Ryan for once again joining us, and thanks to you guys for tuning in and listening. And we'll be back next week for the final pick and go of the season. Don't forget to join us.